The next topic is quantitative analysis. Here, quantitative analysis. It is for the estimation of elements we can use. In this first one is estimation of carbon and hydrogen. The method used for this is called as Liebig's process. It is called as Liebig's process. So for the carbon and hydrogen estimation, we are using Liebig's process. Here, CuO is taken to this the organic compound. Here, the organic compound is passed through the CuO copper gauge, CuO containing a tube. Then the organic compound, if contains carbon, it converts into CO2. If hydrogen is present, it converts into H2O, and copper is formed. Okay, so this type of carbon dioxide and H2O formation is identified by passing through this CaCl2, sorry, KOH. Carbon dioxide is identified by using KOH, and this is by using calcium chloride. So the U-shaped tubes of KOH and CaCl2 is there, and these are passed through the tubes. Before passing this, KOH containing U tube weight is calculated. After passing CO2, KOH calculated, U tube weight is calculated. Similarly, H2O is passed through the calcium chloride containing U tube. Before and after the passage of H2O, the weight is measured. The difference is the gas of CO2 and H2O. From this, percentage of carbon is measured. Here that is equal to carbon atomic weight 12 by molecular weight of CO2 into weight of carbon dioxide, which is measured in this KOH tube, and weight of organic compound into 100. That gives the percentage of carbon present in the given organic compound. Similarly, percentage of hydrogen is equal to 2 by 18, means H2O molecular weight, into weight of H2O, which is measured in this tube, by weight of organic compound given, into 100. So if you know the weight of carbon dioxide and organic compound, then we can calculate percentage of carbon. Similarly, weight of hydro H2O and organic compound, if you know, we can calculate percentage of hydrogen. This is for the estimation of carbon and hydrogen by Liebig's process. Next, estimation of nitrogen. Estimation of nitrogen. Here, estimation of nitrogen is estimated by using two methods. The first one is called as a Jumas method, and the second one is called as Jaldas method. First we see the Jumas method. In this Jumas method, CuO is passed through the organic compound which contains CX, HY and nitrogen Z. Then it is forming XCO2 plus XCO2 plus Y by 2 H2O plus Z by 2 N2 plus Cu is released. Okay, from this nitrogen gas is collected by passing all this through. So carbon dioxide, water and nitrogen containing mixture is passed through a KOH tube, KOH nitrometer tube, and then this KOH absorbs the carbon dioxide mainly, and KOH completely absorbing, we are getting the pure nitrogen gas, and that nitrogen gas is collected. The volume of nitrogen gas is measured by using P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. Here these are the room temperature conditions and these are STP conditions. Here P1 is equal to pressure of nitrogen gas. So the pressure of nitrogen minus aqueous tension, because we are measuring the nitrogen gas which is collected over KOH solution. So aqueous tension is also measured because some water vapor is also present. And V1 is equal to volume of nitrogen, okay, and T1 is equal to room temperature, okay. And STP conditions, here STP conditions V2 we need to calculate, and here V2 is equal to question mark and P2 is equal to 760 mm pressure and T2 is equal to 273 Kelvin temperature. From this we can calculate the V2 value, and if you know these values we can get the volume from this, and temperature, room temperature means 298 Kelvin we measure, and P means we can calculate from this, and they provide these values. From this V2 is calculated, from that directly percentage of nitrogen is equal to 28 by 22,400 ml. That is the volume of nitrogen gas occupies at STP into volume of nitrogen which is collected, this is V2. So V2 by weight of organic compound into 100. Then we can calculate the percentage of nitrogen. This is Jumas method. The next method, second method is Geldahl's method. The Geldahl's method, the nitrogen containing compound is first treated with sulfuric acid, and then the compound is completely converted into ammonium sulfate. This ammonium sulfate is digested with sodium hydroxide, then this is converted completely into ammonium plus sodium sulfate or whatever it may be you are getting, okay. This ammonia is treated with a standard solution of sulfuric acid, then ammonia how much formed is estimated. So again it is forming ammonium sulfate, okay. So the formed ammonia here, the amount of ammonia formed if you know, then we can calculate the nitrogen present in that compound, and the ammonia can be absorbed through a standard solution. Here a standard excess of solution is taken. Excess of standard solution is taken, by that we can calculate. But how much amount of sulfuric acid is absorbed in this process can be estimated by treating this leftover sulfuric acid with sodium hydroxide. So finally, the percentage of nitrogen is calculated from this equation 1.4 into normality into volume of acid. Here, the normality into volume of acid by weight of organic compound. The normality into volume of acid, normality of the acid used and volume of acid used by weight of organic compound if you know, then we can calculate the percentage of nitrogen. The next one, estimation of halogen. Here for the estimation of halogens we can use a method which is called as Carias method, Carias tube method. And in this method, the halogen containing organic compound is treated with silver nitrate, and HNO3 is also mixed. Okay, then the compound is converted to AgX. Then percentage of halogen is equal to atomic weight of halogen by molecular weight of AgX into, here weight of AgX which is released in this process by weight of organic compound, weight of organic compound into 100. That is for the halogen estimation. And next one, estimation of sulfur. For the estimation of sulfur This is also same by Carias method. By Carias method, same Carias method is used, and in this process, percentage of sulfur is equal to atomic weight of sulfur by molecular weight of barium sulfate, because sulfur present in the organic compound is treated with barium chloride, it will convert into barium sulfate into weight of barium sulfate formed by weight of organic compound into 100. That is for the estimation of sulfur. And next, estimation of phosphorus. Here this phosphorus is estimated by using pyrophosphate, magnesium pyrophosphate. Here this is also same Carias method. Carias method, it is also called as Carias method only. And here percentage of phosphorus is equal to in the form of atomic weight of phosphorus is taken, or directly we can write 62 by molecular weight of Mg2P2O7 into weight of Mg2 Mg2P2O7 by atom weight of organic compound into 100. So the phosphorus present in the organic compound is treated with magnesium phosphate, then it is converted into the magnesium pyrophosphate form. The phosphorus present in the organic compound is converted into the magnesium pyrophosphate form, and this is Mg2P2O7. Then this is to calculate percentage of phosphorus.